Good evening, my friends. Giddy with excitement on this day of democracy. Thank you so much for joining us today. For Friends at 5, I'm Andrea Mock, and the polls have been open this morning for everybody, including myself, who waited today to go to the polls. But as we know, we had an incredible turnout for early voting, and News 19 has got you covered. We are live at polling locations all across the Midlands. We are going to start out our coverage in West Columbia with our Josie Frost, who is live outside the South Carolina National Guard Armory. And Josie, how's the turnout been so far that you've seen?
Andrea, things seem to be going pretty smoothly here. We've probably seen 20 or so people come in over the last 20 or 30 minutes since we've been here. So I'm going to step out of the way so you can see behind me, as we might catch some people coming in or out. So things have been slowing down just a little bit over the last few minutes. We've had a steady trickle of people coming in. Now, I spoke to the clerk earlier. She said as of a couple minutes ago, 489 people have come here to this location to vote today. Now, before, 780 absentee and early votes were cast at this location. And we spoke to a first-time voter coming out here, Nicholas McCarthy, and he had one message for those who haven't come out to vote yet.
I would say there's still time. Like, if you're on the fence about it, just look up real quick about the policies and just come out to vote. I mean, for me, it was a short drive, could be longer, but.
Now, Andrea, there is still time. As we know, polls close at 7 o'clock. Andrea?
All right, Josie, thank you so much. Happy to see people still filtering in. Of course, now is when they do expect a big rush, because many people get off work around 4:30, 5 o'clock, and then go right to the polls. That's the idea behind them staying open until 7. So we are continuing our election coverage tonight in Kershaw County, where our Walker Lawson was there talking with voters today who are excited to cast their ballots. Walker.
Good evening, guys. We are here in downtown Camden at one of the precincts in Kershaw County. Now, this is typically one of the busier sites. So far, as of 4:20 p.m., they've only had around 250 ballots casted today. That's because they said the majority of voters that they've seen here early voted already. Now, we spoke to one man earlier today who is 55 years old and said this is a very special election for him.
Well, it's my first time voting, and I've never done it, so, and I think my 2 cents worth might help this time, so I'm gonna put it in. Just hope it makes a difference.
Now, again, the location here says that it has been a little bit slower than they were anticipating on Election Day. Reporting in Kershaw County, Walker Lawson, News 19, WLTX.
All right, Walker, thank you so much. And yeah, we did expect to see some slower numbers at certain polling locations today, because as we know, there was a massive turnout. 1.5 million South Carolinians decided to early vote. Now, throughout the night tonight, I know y'all are going to be doing what I'm doing, jumping on my phone, looking at Twitter, which is now called X, looking at TikTok and Instagram and anything else you follow. Hope you're looking at our News 19 app as well. But all of the social media has been buzzing with the different candidates' races this year, and different things that people say during rallies goes viral. Well, at USC, there is a center that tracks all of that. And that's where we find our News 19 Chris English to give us a look into how this election is playing out on social media. Chris, what's happening there?
That's right. We are at the USC Media Lab on the campus of the University of South Carolina. This has to be one of the coolest places that I've seen to track election results and what people are talking about as far as the election goes. I've caught up with Denson Millar. Denson actually works in the lab here. Denson, tell me what we're looking at behind us.
Yeah, of course. So right now we are looking at a live pulse we have tracking the election this year. This is using keywords to match different terms on different social medias. We're tracking everything from Twitter mentions, Instagram mentions, Reddit, Instagram, and it's aggregating all of this data into a really easy way to view every single post, all the impressions, and get a lay of the land of what people are saying about the election. So,
gotcha. Why is it important that we track information and data like this? The comments that folks are making on social media, some of the different polls that people are taking. Why is all of that data important?
Yeah, so it's very important so we get an understanding of the perception that happens online, because a lot of the election is focused on social media. That's where a lot of people are talking about it. So this is a great way to get an understanding of how people are talking about it, be it positive or negative.
Gotcha. Can you glean anything from what you've seen so far? I know you've been tracking comments throughout the election cycle. Can you give us any insight as to what the data says that we can expect maybe in the presidential race between Kamala Harris and Donald Trump?
Yeah, of course. So from the data we've seen, so what we're seeing is net sentiment is about 38%. This is including both candidates. So what we're seeing is generally positive conversation on a scale of -100 to 100%. So people are talking very favorably about their prospective candidates. They just want people to get out. They want people to vote. So that's what they're saying.
Gotcha. Well, again, we appreciate you inviting us out here to take a look at all the data. And we're going to be back with more information from the USC Media Insights Lab tonight during our live web stream as we present all of the local elections. We've got wall-to-wall coverage coming up for you on WLTX Plus. So be sure you tune into that starting at 7 o'clock at USC's Media Lab. I'm Chris English, News 19, WLTX.
All right, Chris, thank you so much. And like Chris just mentioned, do not forget, tonight is going to be a night like you have never seen here at WLTX. When CBS National takes over, News 19 isn't going anywhere. We are just going to jump over to our streaming platform. That is WLTX Plus. You can find that channel on Fire TV, Roku, or Apple TV. Now, we are also going to be streaming live at our WLTX website and on our YouTube page as well, which I know a lot of you followed during the Murdaugh trial. So streaming lots of different ways for you can find us. We will not be going off the air. We will be continuing with your live local coverage. Let's shift gears and take a breath for just a moment and get you over to the Weather Center. And Efren, I know people were cursing today because we have not seen rain in weeks and weeks, and then somehow it rains on Election Day. We don't want to deter anybody from going to the polls.
And that's the thing. It's like, out of all days, out of the last 40 days, why does it got to be today? Well, we have had a little bit of rain in some of our Midland communities, especially earlier half of today. Showers early this afternoon have now faded away, and the skies are clearing up. We don't have any rainfall right now. Over Williams-Brice Stadium, though, believe it or not, it's a lot of sunshine, 77 degrees, calm conditions, but it is still a little bit humid, and with that in place, there still is an isolated chance. Like, keep in mind, the isolated chance between now and when the polls close at 7, even if you're still in line at 8 o'clock, for maybe an isolated shower. Our temperatures will be in the mid-70s, dropping into the low 70s as we head towards midnight, but we'll have quite a bit of cloud coverage. And with that said, once the showers are done, we could be dealing with also dense morning fog as we reach a low of 65 degrees. And by tomorrow, it'll be mostly cloudy, but we'll see a chance for late afternoon showers with a high of 82. As far as the roads, well, heading out of I-20 in the splits of 26, doing pretty good heading westbound, but that's not going to be the case tomorrow because we do have an elevated chance of slight risk for very heavy rainfall tomorrow evening and overnight. Andrew, we're going to track all of that in the forecast coming up in just a few minutes.
All right, Efren, thank you so much. And a reminder that we are on your side with team coverage all night. I am going to be planted here for much of the night where we are going to give you up-to-date numbers on all of these races, not only on the presidential race here in South Carolina and across the entire country, but we are going to go through all the important races here in our state. We've got our South Carolina, this is District 1, of course, Nancy Mace down in the 1st District running for re-election again, and we are going to run through all of these, including this amendment you voted on today, how this is doing. And something else interesting that we will be watching tonight is the balance of power. This, of course, will mean success for that president, no matter who it is, if the House and the Senate supports them. Right now, Republicans hold the House with a slim margin of 221. Democrats have 214. And then over in the Senate, Democrats have just a slight lead with 51 to 49. Those numbers could change tonight, which obviously will affect the success of the presidency as well. So much to watch over here. We're going to be here throughout the night giving you live updates, but we're going to take a quick break and be back with more Friends at 5 after this.